Hey everybody, welcome back. I just want to do a quick video on resurrection of the dead, prophetic dreams. So, yes, God raised my cat, RK, rescue kitty, Kiki, rescue kitty, raised her from the dead. And it had to do, it's raining out here. And it's my birthday. Today's April 6th, Sunday. So it's right before Easter. Sometimes my birthday falls on Easter. Sometimes it doesn't, just kind of bounces around. But I'll do a longer video on this. But God gives me prophetic dreams, and I've got a playlist with some of the prophetic dreams God's given me that have come to pass. And this is also one of those. And my cat had died in bed, but God had given me a dream, a prophetic dream. When I get a prophetic dream, it's an absolute, there's no question. And I just ask God for the interpretation, which if you do get prophetic dreams yourself, sometimes you have to ask for the interpretation. Sometimes you get it immediately. This one I didn't know. I just knew the dream. And oddly enough, what God does generally for me is he'll give me a dream about a person. And I take their first initial of their first name and their first initial of their last name, or whatever title I have for that person in the relationship or what they go by publicly. And this one was actually about William Branham. He was in a casket outside of a building I had walked outside of, and there was like kind of like a gurney cart, but on the cart was a casket with William Branham in it. And I walked towards the casket, and he was rising up out of sitting up in the casket. God was resurrecting him in the dream. Now, I didn't get the initials WB for William Branham. I actually, strangely enough, the instinctual initials that came to me was SS for serpent seed. I don't believe in the serpent seed, but that's what I got from the dream, which told me there was a double initial, like AA, BB, CC. It was a double. My cat died in bed with me, who I call Kiki, or rescue kitty, KK. And the moment she died, I sat up in bed. I'll explain later about the details, but I sat up in bed and I got out of bed and I just put her by the pillow and I just stared at her because I knew that this is that moment. This is what it meant. KK, SS, he's going to resurrect whoever this is, happened to be my cat. And I'm telling you, and the reason I'm saying this is because a day or two that God told me, I couldn't put it into words. Like I didn't pray out loud. I didn't think anything. I was like, okay, this is it, Jesus. You're going to show me you resurrecting the dead. Nothing verbally came out of my mouth, but the thought a couple of days ago that solidified my thoughts, what I was thinking was I was looking at my cat like, this is that, meaning that this is the moment that dream is being fulfilled, the prophecy, the resurrection of the dead. And it was that KK, the letters KK for Kiki, for the S. I know it sounds complicated, but when God finds a language he can deal with you with or communicate. This is way too long. Well, you know what? Let's not. I was going to cut it off and I got disappointed. I'm like, this is way too long. It's not going to be a short. I'm going to leave this long because it just is what it is. But if you want, you can go to my playlist, Prophetic Dreams, and look at the other videos. And they all had something to do with those initials. And that's just how God chose to do that language. And it's amazing, but it's been probably 3 years since this happened, and she's still with me, and she lives with me in Snowvan. But a couple of days ago, it just hit me. This is that. When I looked at her in the bed and I just stared, I got really close, and I was like, okay, this is it. But this is it as a phrase or a quote. It just didn't have the power. But the other day, God, he finally gave me, this is that, meaning this is that moment. This is that fulfillment. This is the fulfilling of that prophetic dream. So sometimes you might take that with you and when you see an event you have a prophetic dream or a prophecy, and the moment is upon you, this is that, and there's no shadow of turning with this is that, with a this is that moment. And just take that and build on that and be edified by that. Amen. So y'all have a great day. This is that. And like I said, I'll do a longer video on some details. But according to thy faith is what I go by. If God talks to you through a cardinal showing up in your yard, or through the way the wind blows, there's a language that God can find to communicate absolutely and empirically with you. And you need to grab a hold of that, and you need to hang on. And miracles are coming your way. You hang on to that empirical, absolute, this is that moment. Amen. Y'all have a great day. God bless you.